So you may have already seen the video that I made about Jersey entering a team into non-league football. This follows Guernsey entering a team into non-league football as well. These two teams are both part of the Channel Islands, so have to fly to games and pay for their opposition teams to fly to them as well, adding £125,000 in travel costs per season, which is huge for a team in non-league. Another team that is on an island now and looking to create a team in the English non-league system is the Isle of Man. In the last few weeks, they have got clearance from the clubs in the Isle of Man. They voted in favour of them entering a team into the English non-league pyramid, which is helping them start the process of affiliating with the Isle of Man FA, and this can eventually see them potentially enter the 10th tier of English football next season. In this video, we're looking into whether it's a good idea, how it will logistically work, whether they'll have the same problems as Jersey and Guernsey have in non-league football. But first of all, this video is sponsored by OneFootball, which is a great website with lots of information from the footballing world. Up and down the pyramid, it provides you with lots of information, the likes of stats, lineups, fixtures, results, league tables, all sorts of different things that you can stay up to date with. You can tailor your notifications to give you specific things that you want on a match day as well, which makes it a really useful app for staying up to date with all sorts of different things related to football. It's got a high rating on Apple and Android of 4.7 and 4.8, with over 1 million people voting for their rating on Android as well, which means that it is a really good app, and I would recommend you download it if you haven't already. The link to download it will be in the top line of the description. But let's get into the Isle of Man and whether it is a good idea to create a football club there in English non-league. So the concept of entering a team into the English system has existed on the Isle of Man for a long time, but it's in the recent months that it's actually gained traction, and a vote was put towards the 26 member clubs of the Isle of Man FA. Now there's 2 leagues in the Isle of Man, 13 in each league. They actually voted in favour of this happening. The club will be named as FC Isle of Man. Affiliating to the Isle of Man FA was already stated as one of the biggest challenges by their spokesperson Paul Jones, and to have overcome this is a huge obstacle they have got over, and it really does help move this idea into reality. Once that affiliation process is complete, because it is not actually yet done, then the Isle of Man FA will apply to the English FA on their behalf to basically try to enter them into the English football leagues. They'll most likely enter in the North West Counties Division 1, which is the 10th tier of English football. That would be the same tier of English football that Guernsey and Jersey both entered the pyramid. Now Guernsey and Jersey are a natural comparison for the Isle of Man. The Isle of Man is located in the Irish Sea, and the distance that you would have to travel from the Isle of Man to the English mainland is quite far. There's around about 50 miles of sea. That would mean that you'd either have to get a ferry, which could potentially be quite expensive, or fly, which would be even more expensive, and this would encounter the same problems that Jersey and Guernsey have. Now in terms of population on the island, there's just under 90,000 people that live there, which is around 20,000 less than live on the island of Jersey, and around about 10 or 15,000 more that live on Guernsey. So this is a relatively similar ballpark to these two islands, which is why there can be such direct comparisons made. This will mean that you've got the same sort of catchment area in terms of finding players to potentially play for the teams, as well as getting people to come and support the team. Now in terms of a stadium, the biggest one that they are going to be using on the island is the Bowl, which is located in Douglas, and this holds around 3,000 people. It's a multi-purpose 3G stadium. Paul Jones, who I spoke about recently, is their spokesman. He actually said the main aim of this is to try and provide opportunities on the Isle of Man in the footballing industry, because currently if you live on the Isle of Man, there's not really a lot that you can do football wise. Also off the pitch, there's not really an opportunity to progress your career in like a media aspect or in a management aspect or in a marketing aspect, lots of different things. You don't have those opportunities either, and the aim for FC Isle of Man is to become professional or get into professional league within 10 to 12 years. Obviously there's a lot of challenges to try and get past on the way. For me, the biggest one is to actually attract players, because as I said, you are just looking at getting players in currently that are on the island, and it all depends on how good the players are. Is there any real talent there? How strong is their league system? I'm not sure, because you don't see their teams playing against other league teams elsewhere anyway. But you'd imagine that FC Isle of Man would go and cherry pick the best players from the teams on the island, and what that would do was potentially weaken the actual league structure that is there. Then that's just a balance of what is more important, having a team representing the island that can potentially try and climb through the leagues in England, or having a slightly stronger pool of players on your island that's playing as part of your own league system. The former for me is a lot more important, a lot more lucrative, and a lot more opportunities can be created by that, because ultimately there's not really many players that have ever come through from the Isle of Man and actually made it into professional football. Kieran Tierney for Arsenal became the first player in 72 years to make an appearance in the top 4 tiers of English football after being born on the Isle of Man. And he actually moved away from the Isle of Man when he was 10 months old. So how many opportunities are there actually from the Isle of Man to get into professional football? That pathway is certainly not very well worn. But yeah, do you think the Isle of Man is actually a good place to have a football team? It's a very similar one to Guernsey and Jersey, as I did say many times in this video, but what are your thoughts on this situation? Let me know in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed this video, remember to hit that like button and click subscribe as well, to update with lots of different information from non-league football, lots of different unique situations and top 10 lists. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video, and thanks for watching.